listening to problem solving.
So, how's your acting class going?
It's hard to say. It's fun, but I'm not learning much.
Well, you could look for another class, couldn't you?
Maybe. The thing is, I like the teacher, but she hardly notices me. She never gives me any feedback.
How can you get her attention?
Good question. I wish I knew. Actually, I'm thinking of dropping out.
Well, before you do that, it would be good to talk with her, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure I want to know what she thinks. I mean, most of the other students have been acting since they were kids. Do you think that if I'd gotten an earlier start, I'd be a better actor by now?
That's a tough one. I don't know. But you've only been in the class a few weeks. You should at least give it a chance, shouldn't you?
You're right. I guess I should.
Question 1. Overall, how does the woman feel about her class? Question 2. What does the man suggest the woman do? Question 3. How does the woman react to the advice? Now listen to part 2.
You know, I dropped out of a writing class in college, and now I regret it. After I graduated, I wanted a job in journalism, but I hadn't taken the right classes.
It's hard to see that far into the future, isn't it?
Yeah. If I'd made better decisions back then, I could have had a really good career as a journalist by now.
Well, don't be too hard on yourself. I have a friend who's an editor for a small weekly paper here, and she would never have gotten her job if she hadn't known someone on the staff.
Question 4. How does the man feel about his past choices? Question 5. How does the woman react to what the man says? Now listen to part 3.
Anyway, you like your job, don't you?
Actually, it's pretty boring. If I'd known it was going to be this dull, I never would have accepted it.
Well, you could always get another job, couldn't you? You know, my friend wants to hire an assistant.
Yeah, she'll probably hire some lucky person with connections who's in the right place at the right time.
Well, you have connections. You know me, don't you? Would you like me to introduce you to my friend?
I sure would. Thanks, Nella. That'd be great.
Question 6. How does the man feel about his job? Question 7. What does the woman offer to do for the man? Question 8. What best describes the man's reaction towards the offer? Listening to a daily life conversation.
So what time should we pick you up on Friday? Can you be ready by noon, or do you need another hour or so?
I really wanted to spend the weekend with my family, and the ride with you would have made it even more fun, but
You mean you aren't going?
I can't. I'm not doing too well in my economics class, and I have a lecture Friday afternoon. I don't think I should miss it.
Well, why don't you borrow the notes from someone? Isn't your roommate in that class?
Yeah, he is, but I've already asked to borrow his notes once this semester. He didn't seem to mind, though.
Well, there you are. Unless you want to go to class on Thursday. I'm fairly sure that Dr. Collins teaches the same class Thursday night.
Really? She probably wouldn't mind if I sat in on the Thursday class, but I wonder if she'll give the same lecture. You know, maybe they're 1 week behind or 1 week ahead of us.
I suppose that's possible, but it would be easy enough to find out. You could just tell her that you'd like to attend the Thursday session this week because you need to go out of town. Then you can ride home with us. If there's a problem, you can still borrow your roommate's notes on Sunday when we get back.
Question 1. What is the man saying to the woman? Question 2. How is the man doing in his class? Question 3. What does the woman suggest the man do? Question 4. What other suggestion does the woman make? Question 5. What best describes the woman's personality? Listening for information.
Didn't you work in that theme park last summer?
Yeah, in the ticket booth for the concert arena.
Really? How was it? The reason I ask is I was wondering about applying for a job there myself.
It was good. I mean, the best part was that I got to go on all the rides for free. I don't know if you know, but you get a free season pass.
Cool.
Yeah. And what I thought was really good was I got to see a lot of the concerts and meet some of the performers backstage.
Great. Now, what I heard was that it's hard to get a job there.
Well, yeah. What I was going to tell you was that they have a job fair in the spring. I don't know if you're familiar with one, but you go around the park and interview for different jobs.
Yeah? Maybe I should go to that.
Yeah, it's a good way to get hired.
But what I heard was they like to hire people who've worked there before. You know, people with experience.
Yeah, but you've worked in restaurants and things, right? The reason I ask is that I know they're always looking for servers.
They are? That would be good.
It's hard work, but the best part is you get good tips.
Well, I'm gonna apply for sure. Hey, by the way, what I was going to tell you was I got accepted to grad school next year.
You got accepted? Congratulations!
Thanks. Yeah, it's a 2-year program, but I've already taken some classes. By this time next year, I'll have graduated.
Great! So what'll you be studying? Marketing?
No, arts management.
What exactly is arts management? The reason I ask is I don't know if marketing is really working out for me.
Well, marketing is part of it, but there's a lot more. This fall, I'll be taking business law and business communications.
That sounds really interesting. I should check it out.
Well, what I would do is go and ask about the program. Tell them about your marketing courses and job experience.
You're right. I should do that.
By the way, speaking of jobs, what'll you be doing this summer? Will you be working at the ticket booth again?
Well, actually, what I was going to tell you was I've been promoted. I'll be managing the box office this year.
Perfect experience for arts management. Good for you.
Question 1. Why is the man asking about the woman's previous job? Question 2. What did the woman like about that job? Question 3. What has the man heard about getting a job at the theme park? Question 4. What does the woman suggest the man do to get hired? Question 5. How does the man feel about his future? Question 6. Why is the woman interested in what the man will study? Listening to a news item.
Women-only train cars starting in Germany. A train operator in Germany is launching a women and children-only service on its trains. The initiative for the segregated carriages is an attempt to help women feel safer. There will be 2 specialized compartments on all of the company's trains that run between the cities of Leipzig and Chemnitz. The carriages will be located next to the one in which the train conductor is situated. The new carriages are causing quite a stir in Germany. Some people on social media are suggesting the move is a reaction to an increase in reported incidents of sexual harassment and assault in Germany. Rail executives stress this is not the case, but is instead a new policy aimed at increasing security for women and children. The use of women-only carriages on trains is not new. There have been dedicated cars on trains in many other countries for decades. In Japan, such carriages were first introduced in 1912. Last year, there was a call from Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the opposition party to the government in Britain, to reintroduce such carriages. British trains used to have ladies-only carriages up until 1977. Mr. Corbyn's comments resulted in a backlash from female politicians. His colleague Yvette Cooper observed that while sexual harassment and violence against women was a serious issue, women-only carriages were not the answer. Cooper said the move would be turning the clock back and not tackling the problem. This is Cynthia Jones reporting from Vancouver, Canada.
Listening to a daily life conversation.
You sure have a lot of books here, Greg. Where'd you get them all?
Well, different places. Some are from friends or my family, but I bought a lot of them from used bookstores, especially from this one favorite store of mine.
Really? What's it called?
Bernard's Books.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one. What's it like?
Well, it's in an old house, actually. Someone made it into a bookstore. They've got different kinds of books in every room of the house, and they're really cheap.
That sounds really interesting. Are you going back soon?
Actually, I'm going over there tomorrow afternoon. Do you want to come?
Tomorrow? Yeah, I'm free. That sounds great. Hey, I just thought of something. Do they buy old books too?
Of course. That's how they get all their books.
Great. I know what I'll do. I've got to get rid of some clutter around the house, so I'll pack a couple of boxes of books to sell. You might want to take some of your books too.
Yeah, I ought to get rid of some of them. But that's my problem. I'd rather buy them than sell them.
Question 1. What does the woman say about Greg's books? Question 2. Where did Greg get his books? Question 3. Where does Greg get the majority of his books? Question 4. How is the woman reacting towards Greg? Question 5. What will the woman most likely do next? Listening to a discussion.
Can the eyes deceive the mind? Let's start with our own experience. What are some common examples of the eyes deceiving the mind?
The first things that come to my mind are those pictures with a hidden image in them. When you first look at them, your eyes tell you that it's just a repetitive pattern, but there are actually differences in the pattern that show up as a hidden image when you look at it for a while.
Those things drive me crazy. I can never see the picture. But to answer the question, I'd say that 3D movies are a very common example of the eyes deceiving the mind. What looks like 3D is really just the same image being shown from different angles.
Good point. What are some other examples of the eyes deceiving the mind? Felix?
Well, to take off from what Marcus said, we use visual deception all the time. For example, we put mirrors in rooms to make them look bigger, or we wear vertical stripes to make ourselves look thinner. Even animal camouflage is an example of the eyes deceiving the mind. The animal is there, but you don't see it because its patterns and colors match the background.
That's true. Are there other examples of the eyes deceiving the mind? Does it happen in ways we don't plan? What do you think, Una?
When people are in the desert, they sometimes see pools of water. I forgot what that's called.
A mirage. Yes, people often see mirages in the heat, on highways too.
And on the ocean.
That's right. People think they see land when there is no land there at all. So we have lots of examples of the eyes deceiving the mind, and we'll see more as we continue with this unit.
Listening to problem solving.
What's happening? What's everybody looking at?
I don't know. Uh-oh, police.
Oh, wait. They're stopping traffic. It looks like the street's closed. There must be some kind of problem. Oh, maybe there was an accident.
Question 1. What are the speakers observing? Question 2. What does the woman think is happening? Now listen to part 2.
This is exciting. Let's get a little closer. Oh, yeah. Do you see the cameras and the lights? Maybe the TV news has arrived and they're interviewing people about what happened.
Guess again. There was no accident. Those aren't reporters. Look at that woman, the one wearing the amazing costume.
Huh.
Question 3. How does the man feel about the situation? Question 4. What does the man want to do? Question 5. What is the woman suggesting is happening? Now listen to part 3.
Do you think it could be a parade?
No. I know what it is. They're making a commercial. See the two guys the woman is talking with? They're both really young and good looking. They must be models.
Oh, of course. You're right. I can't hear what they're saying. Do you want to get a little closer and listen?
No, that's okay. It's so crowded and nothing is happening. It's just irritating. Let's go.
Well, okay.
Question 6. What is really happening? Question 7. What does the man suggest that they do? Question 8. What best describes the woman's general attitude? Listening to Viewpoints.
My name is Sunny, and I'm 26 years old. I've always felt very strongly about world issues. And like a lot of people, I used to say, I wish someone would do something about poverty and things like the distribution of wealth and so on. And, I'd done some research, and, I decided if I could do something myself, I should. I'd read an article that said 60% of people stop giving to charity because they have no idea what happens to all their donations. And I realized if these people had known more about the charity, they would still be donors now. So, I thought, what if I created a social networking site that puts donors in touch with charities and helps them stay connected? And that's what I did. You know, a lot of people give money to charity, but there are other ways to help too. So the way the site works is this. Suppose you want to donate some money to a homeless program, for example, but you don't know where to find one. Well, you can look at my site and find one. Then if you're a small charity and need money for a project, you can post a request on the site. So in other words, we match people to charities they might not know about. I suppose I decided to concentrate on smaller charities because, you know, there are thousands of small charitable organizations, and they often have difficulty raising money. And in fact, we look for small donors too, people who can't afford to give a lot, but they want to feel they are making a difference. One thing that I found out is that lots of people want to support charities in their own city or town. So really it's become a site for local people and local charities, which is great. In a way, local charities often need the most help, and it's nice because you can often see the difference your donations make. It's been really successful. I just wish I'd started on it years ago. There are lots of educational projects. For example, people like to sponsor college students who are struggling with bills. And then one campaign helped a kindergarten that volunteers had set up in a poor neighborhood. If we hadn't raised money for it, the kindergarten wouldn't have been able to get started, and we were able to raise $1,000 to buy books and toys for it. So yeah, I hope there'll be many more opportunities like this in the future.
listening to problem solving.
So, how's your acting class going?
It's hard to say. It's fun, but I'm not learning much.
Well, you could look for another class, couldn't you?
Maybe. The thing is, I like the teacher, but she hardly notices me. She never gives me any feedback.
How can you get her attention?
Good question. I wish I knew. Actually, I'm thinking of dropping out.
Well, before you do that, it would be good to talk with her, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure I want to know what she